Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the fifth episode of the Moronic History Podcast. I'm here with my co-host.
Hi.
Yeah, it's Rumbly. Uh, I feel like by this point,
Get into it.
I feel like by this point we don't have to really announce who we are because we've been doing this 5 episodes now.
Yeah, I think everybody understands on who we are
All right,
and
this
why we're here, I think.
yes, we're here to talk about stupid stuff in history that your history teacher will not mention to you,
What a fun history, nerds.
and sometimes nuclear reactors, but not important.
Not important. Episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
uh, so, yes,
Episode 4.
podcast. Today we're talking about micronations. I wrote a title slide because I'm pretentious. What happens when you have a nation that spans
Okay.
a continent? Well, you have more of a chance for people wanting to start their own nation. And today we talk about those.
Yeah. Oh.
There's some of these on the list you might have heard of before because they get kind of famous, but other ones I know you haven't heard of. So we get into it. So
We.
first we kind of have
Oh my god. I hope that's not all of them.
no, those are regular countries.
Okay, good.
So first, we kind of have to talk about why are these things not considered nations, and what you need to be considered an actual country. By most people's
Oh.
definition, anybody inside of the United Nations is a real country, but there are other ones that say that some nations that aren't exactly recognized are nations in their own right, but that's a debate that I'm not going to get into. Um,
Because
examples,
politics.
yeah, politics is not fun. I don't like to talk about it, but Palestine and Taiwan are usually the ones that people point to. The state of
Yeah.
Palestine is actually a UN observer state. I don't know the exact technical definitions of that. And internationally, Taiwan is recognized as part of China, but I think that's kind of stupid.
Because they're stupid idiots.
All right, I'm about to get 8,000 people simping for the China government in my comment section. Fun. All right, that's cool. So,
Alright, West Taiwan. Sure, go for it.
what are the required things? You have to have a permanent population. You have so you know nomads, right?
Uh-huh.
A defined territory where you hold what they call a monopoly on violence, just so you have the guns.
Mm.
A government to rule over it, doesn't matter what kind, and a capacity to enter relations with other nations, just doing
Trading stuff.
trading,
Market,
consulates, yeah,
capitalism, or communism, depending on which way you swing.
yeah. So then you have to get 3/5 of the um, you have to get 3/5 of the United Nations general body to vote for you. You also have to get all of those, and then you have to get all five of the permanent members, that being China, France, the Russian Federation, United Kingdom, the United States, to all vote for you. So you have to
Oh,
get. So what you have to do is you have to get. Usually you want a majority of the regular thing, but you also need 3/5 of the 10 non-permanent members. That changes, and then all five of the permanent members.
oh wow.
It's a little complicated.
Huh.
Just to show you how complicated it is, the last country that got admitted was South Sudan in 2011, but I think there's a new one coming around the corner.
It might be
There's some like
Kosovo? No, I'm kidding.
I wish. Uh, there's
I wish.
there's like an island in the Papua New Guinea archipelago that's supposed to be getting
Oh yeah.
independence. Yeah, I no. So
Woo!
yeah, new countries, new flags to
Yay.
memorize.
Oh great.
We like flags here. We like flags.
Oh, we love flags here. Uh-huh.
Some of them are just very boring. Looking at you,
Like,
most of Europe.
yeah, with your blue,
Tricolors.
red, and white, you copycats.
It's just a tricolor. I don't know. People like it. Okay,
Mm.
so let's talk about micronations. So some people would consider like subdivisions of the United States as sometimes micronations. This is like something like the Native American reservations inside the United States, but those are like separate entities that exist within the government, but without regulation on some bits. So for our purposes, we're not going to count them as them.
Wow.
Thanks. Breaking
Thanks,
commentary.
I guess.
Um,
Wow.
and then, of course, you have the U.S. overseas territories.
We love them. We love
Yeah,
all of them.
we
Each individual one.
we definitely don't exploit them for their well,
No. God,
we,
no.
giving them voting rights. What's that?
Hmm.
Sorry, Puerto Rico
I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
and DC.
Would definitely mean it, but
Actually, DC doesn't have like a senator or anything, which is kind of weird. Okay, moving on. My list of micronations comes from the Wikipedia article. Yes, I used Wikipedia for this. No, I don't care. Moving on. But, okay, so there's something I have to show you guys. There is a smaller one that breaks it down state by state. But I wanted to have this podcast episode done before June of next year, so I didn't do any of these ones. I did the major ones.
good, because we would be here for forever.
That isn't even all of them. I missed a couple, and this is only the active ones. They're inactive and disbanded.
Stop.
Yeah, no, it is ridiculous.
No, we're
And
not. No,
no,
I don't feel like having a brain aneurysm.
if we talked about each and every one of these, I would have the notes done by June, and the episode would be recorded nonstop from then till August.
Probably.
So yeah, no, we are not doing that. So actually, let's get into it, huh? Hey, just butting in here for a quick second. I know this is probably annoying, but let me just do my spiel quick. If you're enjoying the content so far, I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button. Me and Rumbly put a lot of effort into these, and we really enjoy when you guys show support for them. So if you could do that, that would mean the world to us, and there will be more Moronic history episodes coming out in the near future. So just keep that in mind. And with that, I hand you back over to the podcast. The Nation of Celestial Space. What do you think that name means?
The space
Yeah. So
and gods, I assume.
a dude named James T. Magnan. He was just a regular dude, but on December 21st of 1948, he declared the nation of celestial space. He claims literally everything in existence except for the Earth. Every other planet, galaxy, solar system in the known universe and unknown, he claims.
I wonder if that will ever get approved.
Yeah. So he sent letters to the U.S., UK, and the Soviet Union, and the United Nations about this claim. They never responded. Go figure.
I wonder why.
I kind of wanted them to. They're okay. I want to mention something.
Can you imagine what they would send to him?
Know you.
No,
Claim his house.
you moron.
Okay, you want to know something I found? Okay, I found a claim that the Nation of Celestial Space flag had been flown in front of the United Nations, but I never found anything that backed up this claim, so I assume it's false.
Yeah, probably.
My headcanon, if it is true, is that the dude, James or whatever, went to the UN headquarters in New York, quickly lowered a country's flag, raised his own, and ran away as fast as he could.
That would be funny.
If he did, props to him. So,
props.
He was a republic. He had this country as a republic monarchy system, kind of like the UK parliamentary.
Was it just him, or were there other
No,
people too?
there were other people, just usually goofy, just like kind of goofballs trying to be different. So like nobody really had to pay attention to. He declared that there would be no more nuclear weapons tests in the atmosphere and like no more space race stuff.
Oh.
He just declared that.
If you do it, I'll do something.
So after the USA and the USSR both launched stuff into space for, like that stuff, he sent them very angry letters, and that immediately stopped all space travel. Because that's what letters do.
Oh yeah, it stopped it all. We definitely did not land on the moon or anything.
Yeah. So he did later rescind this decree graciously to allow us to launch satellites into space. So he is a malevolent king.
Wow.
It is currently active. It has 19,000 people as of 1959, and it has its own currency. You can see some coins that were printed.
Is this still a thing?
Yeah, more as a meme than anything, but yeah, it still exists.
I it, wow.
So some of the ranks that are in this thing are the Duke of the Milky Way. Not making that up. So yeah, kind of a goofy one, but this is
A Duke of the Milky Way?
yes, Duke of the Milky Way. I think it's one of his kids that has it. No,
Okay.
it only gets goofy.
Imagine growing up knowing that you're going to be the Duke of the Milky
So, what'd you guys get from your parents? Oh, the Milky Way.
the Milky Way. What? They owned the Milky Way?
Well, he owns
Well,
everything except
my
for Earth.
father thought so.
Yeah.
Wait, if he owns everything but Earth, why are you on Earth?
Um, I don't know.
He
Likes
didn't
the
think
food.
about that now, did he?
Likes the food, I guess.
I
Okay.
guess.
For our next country, Micronation, we have to go to the horrible place that somehow, despite the best efforts of Poseidon, has not receded into the sea, Florida. So,
I'm done. This is
the
over. This is where I stop. Also, by the way, I stopped by right next to the little sun picture, Key West. I thought that said Kanye West.
we are we're broken by that one episode, aren't we?
Yeah.
What that, shout out to the first random conspiracies episode.
Oh yeah.
So the Conch Republic is kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, kind of goofy secessionist thing
Hmm.
that is out of Key West, Florida. You can see it on a map there.
Yeah.
The Republic, I have it in my notes as released, like it's a patch notes, but it declared its independence on the 23rd of April, 1982, and it's kind of just for tourism. But here's the here's the reason that they got. A lot of people were scared of Cubans, kind of like coming up through Florida to get into the United States, so they set up
Oh
roadblocks.
no, what would they do? It's not like we have guns pointed at them at all times.
Yeah. Oh, these poor Cuban refugees. Why would
Oh
we?
no, whatever loads gun, whatever will I do?
Yeah. Um. So that the U.S. set up roadblocks so they could just turn them away, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And the Conch people didn't like that because it hurt tourism, and it declared itself an independent nation due to this like invasion. The
Invasion and
yes,
quote unquote.
of course. After
Hmm.
the roadblock was removed, the people just kind of kept it going as kind of a goof. But then there was the invasion of 1995.
Hmm.
So the U.S. were going to do some
Invasion, quote unquote.
invasion, yes. So the U.S. was going to do some exercises off the coast of
Exercises.
yeah. So they were going to do some
Hmm.
exercises and a mock amphibious landing because Cuba was still kind of there. I mean,
Cuba. I mean, it was there.
so the but the people of the Conch Republic didn't like this. So they got this old sailboat called the Western Union and just ran at a Coast Guard ship and was just a general nuisance. They threw like balloons and stale bread at the Coast Guard. And then the Coast Guard opened fire and killed all of them.
Stale bread.
No, they just hit him with a water gun.
Mm.
They had a water hose. The After a protest, the U.S. troops surrendered and gave an apology to the intrusion to the Conch Republic for the intrusion.
Uh-huh.
And they also claim this old bridge that isn't connected to the U.S. mainland, so they claim it as part of the Conch Republic. Kind of funny.
Very funny.
So 1-0, baby. Conch Republic number one,
So
undefeated.
far, they're the only ones winning.
Yeah, undefeated. Never lost a war to the United States.
Hmm.
They're one of few countries who can say that. What? Vietnam, I guess.
Yeah.
Who else?
Score.
Scoreboard. All right, moving on.
Uh-huh.
God, that is a blurry photo.
Love love Family Guy.
Yeah. So the Maritime Republic of Eastport is another tongue-in-cheek secession things. It's mostly just for goofs. The city that is now called Annapolis was settled in 1655, but the town would declare its independence due to kind of okay. This is going to sound really dumb. It was due to the only bridge leading, the only bridge leading to the this maritime republic being cut off. You can see it right here. It's kind of goofy, and I love it. And they do tug of wars against the, I think, naval officers, and it's just a big tourist attraction.
Like
Uh,
they're just tourist attractions.
yeah, I honestly, compared to what we're going to talk about later, this is kind of just goofy, funny.
Goofy, funny, like they're doing it for a meme kind of thing.
Yeah, and I support you making a micronation out of your house or your town and just doing it for the goofs and the gaffs. Do not commit federal tax evasion.
Uh,
No,
about that.
we will discuss your taxes after this episode.
Oh no, no,
Okay,
please.
the next, our
No.
next, our next one is actually Jones County, Mississippi. So it's a county in Mississippi,
Why
obviously.
why are there flag like that?
I will show you in a second. So the name of this county comes from the daring Scottish American pirate that made the Royal Navy's day terrible, and they made the god awful flag that you see in the top left because the Dutch made it.
Of
Um,
course, the Dutch made it.
apparently, so this is the story that I know. You can correct me in the comment, or you can correct me if you know. Um, John Paul Jones lost his flag, went to the Netherlands, but because you need like a flag to sail under maritime law.
Uh huh.
Benjamin Franklin kind of described what the flag looked like, and the Dutch made it. Oh god, it's bad. It's so bad. Whatever.
It's got stars in the left corner, and it's red, white, and blue with stripes.
Yeah, I guess it counts. So, so during, as we all know, the Civil War, the South started it. Come at me. Um, Mississippi was one of those southern states that seceded, but due to a tax dispute, the people of Jones County just stopped paying, and the governor was told that, so he sent troops there. There were
So the
14.
entire state committed tax evasion. I
Yeah,
mean, county.
yes, the entire county committed tax evasion so hard that they made their own country to avoid it. I just described what happened in the United States.
Yeah.
When me explaining to the police officer that no, I'm not committing tax evasion. I'm being patriotic. So the governor sent troops there to like quell this rebellion. There were 14 skirmishes in the county before the end of the war.
Yeah.
And then it would be renamed Jefferson Davis County, but then it would be changed back during Reconstruction because, losers don't get their names put on things, except they did because Lincoln died, sadly.
Because Lincoln died.
Andrew
I
Johnson was a
wonder how.
Andrew Johnson was a coward and he should never been in office.
Yeah.
We are a very anti Andrew Johnson here.
Oh yeah, very anti.
Yeah. Lincoln rolled in his grave. Okay, Freedonia.
Yeah.
The Principality of Freedonia.
Freedonia.
Freedonia, yes. Nerd crap. So
Um,
it's a
is there a
micronation.
picture of
We
Somalia?
will talk about that in a second. It does connect. I guarantee you, it does connect. So
I don't know how, but explain.
Fredonia was made by some college kids who were really bored one day and were like, "We're gonna make this country off of libertarian, uh, like qualities." And if you want to know what a libertarian does, they want to lower the age of consent. That's a majority of
Oh.
their politics. So do with that what you will.
Uh.
So
Oh,
the
Freedonia, here I come. No.
it's just oh boy. So it was an oligarchy for a bit.
That's a joke. YouTube, that's a
Yeah, you
joke.
you just
That's
please.
all jokes.
They're not going to watch this. So the original thing was an oligarchy, and given libertarians not wanting government intervention, an oligarchy kind of makes sense
Yeah,
because like
not really.
no monopoly busters, just monopolies everywhere. It's funny, haha.
Monopoly money.
It is literally just monopoly, man.
You own Boardwalk and Park Place?
You own
Libertarian.
Somalia? What? Wait, I'm just realizing that all of like colonialism was just a giant game of Monopoly for the European.
Yeah.
Damn, you own Zimbabwe? Wow.
Damn. Wow. It's like too bad. I have Egypt over here. UK, shut up.
Hoorah! I actually don't know who owns Zimbabwe. I think it was the UK.
It was.
Because
Because
Portugal,
they had that whole line going down all the way to
yeah,
South
Egypt to South
Africa.
Africa, yeah, especially
Yeah.
post World
They
War
owned
One.
all of that.
Yeah. Where were we? Yeah, Freedonia.
Where were we?
It was a republic, then a constitutional monarchy under the founder named just John the First. The
Just John.
the project they kept the website going until about 2004, but then it kind of went off the air. So we can assume that it's now defunct. But one of their ways they were going to get like independence is that they were going to buy land from Somaliland, the non-recognized country, quote unquote, in the north of Somalia.
They were like, hey, America, we want independence from you, but we're buying land over here.
Yeah, we will be an independent country over there, running away. Why would you want to buy land in Somalia?
I don't know. It's just a terrible place.
Like, you would find a more hospitable situation on the moon.
Yeah. There might be more food there.
Don't. Oh my god, dude. So yeah, that's funny, and libertarians are dumb. Moving on. You probably know this one.
Yay.
The Republic of Molossia.
The who?
Oh, you've never heard of it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's like the micronation that everybody talks about.
No.
You can see that happy guy. He's the founder.
Oh.
Okay. So it was made by a dude named Kevin Baugh in Nevada. He
Ah.
he says when he pays his property taxes, but he calls them foreign aid to the United States.
So you're telling me that this man's like house area is the Republic of Molossia?
Yes, you can see in that little section right down there, those two roads, that gray area is Molossia. And
Live your life, man.
to avoid
Amen to you.
yeah, I mean, dude, he's given foreign aid to the United States, living his life. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
So it's been through a lot of governments, so I'm gonna kind of speed run through these. At the start, it was the Grand Republic of Voldstein. No idea on the name there. Then in May of 1988, it was renamed to the Kingdom of Molossia. Then June 1998, it was called the Communist Government.
That's concerning.
Then on September 3rd, 1999, went to the First Republic of Molossia. Now
Uh-huh.
don't question anything I say in the next 10 seconds. Then on the 9th of April, the dictatorship of Kick-Assia was established, and then on April 11, 2 days later, the Second Republic of Molossia was reinstated.
Was there just like a family arguments that happened and the
Okay, do you know
name
the Nostalgia
change?
Critic?
No.
Yeah. Okay, he's the guy in the bottom left corner. He made old reviews on movies, shows, games, and for his like yearly thing where he does like a skit to celebrate the year, he went to the government of the dude who runs Molossia and was just like, "We're gonna take over your country for the day for a movie," and he just said yes. So for a couple days, it was a dictatorship under the nostalgia critic.
Wow.
I adore this guy because he is just living. He is just living his best life.
That's the first one I'm gonna agree with, dude. Live your life.
Dude, just you ain't hurt.
You live your life, dude, and you live it proud.
You ain't hurt nobody.
Hey, dude, he's just an old happy dude, you know, living his life in his country, and you gotta respect that. I mean,
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd say give him
gotta
independence.
respect it.
I'd
I'd
give him
give him
independence.
independence
Okay, so
right now,
he
right now.
he claims to be in a war with East Germany. Now, I don't know if
Of
you know
course,
this, but East Germany doesn't exist anymore. But
yeah.
he claims that so there was this legal thing where Cuba gave East Germany like an island,
Uh huh.
but they never really transferred legal ownership. So it's a bunch of legalese. But you know, East Germany's gone, has been for a while. Don't he's just living his best life, king stuff.
Let him. You go on, dude. That's the
Dudes,
first one I'm probably gonna say yes to.
yeah, dudes being bros. I yeah
I mean, hey, you gotta respect it.
I adore this man. If I hope to be like him one day, just living my best life.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so this one is actually fake, but I do want to talk about it because I just find it funny. So
What is this?
it's called Moosylvania.
Muskogee?
Yes. It's a fictional
Okay.
island in the Lake of the Woods that's on the United States and Canada border. It's from an old like comic thing.
Yeah.
It's from an old story and used as a plot device in the 1960s shows called The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. It's considered terra nullius in the universe, and it's kind of like Bear to Will. Go check out the Matman episode on. Uh, I don't remember what episode it was on. I think it was the border between Egypt and Sudan. Love
Okay.
Matman. Have you ever seen Matman?
No.
You need to go watch it after this. After we're done
Okay.
recording, you're watching it. I'm forcing you.
Um. No.
Oh, it's actually it is good. Go check it out.
I will, but not now or later
Okay.
in the future.
Okay, I have a lot of notes for this one. So the state of Muskogee is back in the state of Florida. We're back.
Oh.
Um, it's the dong in the United States, and we're back in it. So it was founded
Oh boy.
in 1799 by a American Revolutionary War vet called William Augustus Bowles. Now, one thing that I have to mention is that he was a loyalist and fought for the UK, so he isn't a big fan of the United States.
Alright, this is making more sense.
So about 10 years after the war, he did some stuff in the Bahamas, and what you need to know is that he'd spent time and learned the language of the natives of Florida. There's a couple names, but I don't know how to pronounce them.
Uh huh.
In 1799, he declares himself the Director General and Commander in Chief of the Muskogee Nation. His claim to independence was based on the fact that the treaty between Spain and the US didn't take into account the sovereignty of the natives of Florida.
Okay.
Um, he welcomed a lot of runaway slaves into his nation and threatened to declare war on the US if they did not leave his territory.
Oh.
Now, unlike more modern ones, this was not a neutral threat. He was willing to fight, and so were the people around him.
Wow.
So the Spanish later would force them to move their capital more inland due to the navy, and they also had 3 ships of their own, which is kind of fun.
Huh.
On the 5th of January, 1802, he led a force of Seminoles, runaway slaves, pirates, and Spanish deserters in a campaign, but he was forced to retreat due to the size of the Spanish navy. So he went on the
Okay.
so this man he was hunting.
It was like, get off my land, you filthy Americans.
Yeah. How sustainable it would have been, even if like they got full recognized independence. I guess if you have the UK backing you, you could pretty much do anything. But you know.
Yeah.
So after the treaty between the UK, France, and Spain to get rid of hostilities, he was kind of discredited because obviously the UK isn't going to spend resources fighting the Spanish anymore.
Well, they had just gotten done fighting America
Yeah,
and
so
got their asses kicked,
yeah, they're
to say the
tired.
least,
They're tired.
and spent way too much money.
They were broke. Um,
They literally they were like, okay, 5,000 soldiers. That will be enough. Our like 1,000 beat their ass. Okay, another 5,000. Like
fine,
maybe
fine.
600 beat them.
We'll do the
Hold
war.
on, wait a minute. Hold on, real quick. How about another 5,000? About like 1,050 kicked your ass. Okay, now we're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're going home.
We're going home. Bye.
So in 1803, the Spanish and the Americans got together in a darkly lit room with cigarettes and laid a trap for Bowles, and he got captured. So after that, the nation kind of fell
Obviously.
apart, and later during the First Seminole War, Andrew
Yeah.
Jackson burnt down the what would have been the capital then, and then later the Muskogee people were forced to take the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma.
Yay. We love
Yay.
the Trail of Tears.
We love American history.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
We never did a genocide, the Native Americans staring from the corner.
Staring from the corner.
Anyway, this one is more same time period though. Oh, I went too far. Nope, it's good. The neutral ground of Louisiana, sometimes called the Sabine Free State.
Oh.
It was a piece of land that lay between Spanish Texas and the United States. After the U.S. bought the Louisiana Purchase, this land was kind of disputed on who who owned it. So the military commander in the region just said, "Hey, until our people find out, like our governments figure out who owns this, we're just going to say that it's neither of ours." And while each government didn't ratify this decision, they respected it.
Yeah.
But
They're like, okay, we don't want to fight anymore. Let's just put it on hold. It's nobody's, and we both don't go into it. And then they shook hands like bros.
yes, now that's all well and good. But that also means that there's no police in the area.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
So this thing was a home of fugitive slaves. It was a pirate's paradise. Fugitive slaves, filibusters. Wait, what? Not filibusters. I don't know. Why is that in my notes? Smugglers, outlaws, pirates, drug smugglers, anything you could think of, they were there because nobody was there to prosecute them.
Yeah,
They built outposts. They built regular headquarters that they would stay in. This was like the home of piracy.
this is where piracy started,
Yeah,
right here.
it was wonderful. And then about in 1819, the U.S. settled the border with Spain. So this thing lasted like 18 years. But it is kind of funny.
It's very funny.
I don't know. I didn't do a ton of research into like how many crimes were committed there, but I think per capita the crimes there would have been 10 to a person. So I am
Jesus Christ.
yeah, no. Most
Do we
people
know how many people were there?
hard to get a good count because who's going to do a census on an area they don't police or tax?
Huh.
Assume quite a bit
That's a
because
lot.
a lot of
That's still a lot.
a lot of fugitive slaves ran into this area because you're not going to go in there.
Fair.
Okay, now I'm going to have to explain this one because it's kind of weird. This is called New Atlantis. Um,
Okay.
it was literally a bamboo raft that was set up off the coast of Jamaica. by a man named Leicester Hemingway.
It was a bamboo raft.
It was 240 square feet of a bamboo raft.
Oh my god.
It was anchored using an old Ford engine block and was put in
Jesus.
international waters. So this genius used an old US island law. I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
exactly how it works, but he said that the uninhabited part of the island, his bamboo raft, was technically United States territory, and that his half was its own country.
Oh,
So that's how it kind of gets in the United States category of micronations.
I
At the
see now.
at the height of the country, it had 6 people, and what he really wanted to do during this was research sea life of the Caribbean.
Okay.
The raft was destroyed during a storm and was later salvaged
Of
by
course.
fishermen. But there was actually plans to expand it before it was destroyed.
Hmm.
But
That's interesting that we have gone from actual places that were like, hey, this is this is different. And then we went to a guy with his house, and I respect that. Now we're getting to a bamboo raft.
oh, it'll
You're
get
telling
stupider.
me that that falls under Micronations, a bamboo raft,
Oh yeah, it does.
a raft.
Yes, I apologize. The North Dumpling Island. It's a 2-acre island off the coast of the United
What
States.
name is that?
What?
North Dumpling Island?
Yeah, I think the dude's last
Is
name.
there a reason? Is there a reason behind that name?
I think the original dude who founded the island was named Dumpling.
Okay.
So it's
Was
a
he like a physical dumpling, or
uh, maybe just really like dumplings. I don't know.
maybe the inhabitants were dumplings? Maybe dumplings are taking over the world.
They are
Are
called.
you a dumpling?
Am I?
Are you? Am I?
No idea. But Sean, but the inventor of Segway, Dean Carmen is. That's the guy who owns this island.
Hmm. Okay.
So what happened is that you see that wind turbine on the right side of the island.
Yeah.
He was told he could not build that on his island, so he seceded from the United States to get away from the regulations. And he got his personal friend, the President of the United States, George W. Bush, to comply with this and sign a non aggression pact with him.
Okay.
He would later build solar panels and a mock up of Stonehenge on the left side of the island.
Huh.
Just a. I think no, Dean Carmen, he's kind of a goofy dude.
A little bit.
I feel like there's something in the back of my mind that's telling me he's a weirdo, but let me quickly Google him. Uh, because I feel like I remember there being something like he did something really weird. Um, Controversy, I guess. Racist
And
shouting
again, I
quote. Racist sounding quote. Okay.
don't know. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway,
Yep. Anyways, moving on. The state of Scott. Okay, this is another one of those.
Scott.
Yes, there. This is another one of those uh, counties seceding during the Civil War, but this one is based.
Hmm.
So at the time of secession, this county had 61 slaves when the average one had 100. And
Okay.
during the lead up to the war, Tennessee was very divided on slave or no slave. And in one of the few things that Andrew Johnson ever did right, he was the state senator for this place. He said that he would leave the state of Tennessee if they left the Union. And he had the people vote on it in a 541 to 19 decision. The county of Scott seceded from Tennessee to preserve
Wow.
to preserve the Union. And this is a quote from a local farmer, and I love it. If the goddamn state of Tennessee can secede from the Union, then the Scott County can secede from the state of Tennessee. That man is a true patriot.
True patriotism at its finest form.
Yes. The governor of Tennessee would get 1,700 troops and march down to suppress this, but due to extreme resistance, they were forced to retreat.
What?
This county stayed independent or in the fight for most of the war.
Wow.
In 1986, there was a symbolic reintegration into the rest of Tennessee, but I hear that it is a very it's a very big thing in the county.
Wow. So this one's like actually like they want to separate.
Yeah, this one is really good. Like this is a based secession movement in the United States
Wow. The first like actual like for real we want to get out of here.
against slavers too.
Wow.
Good
Who
for
would have
them.
thought?
Yeah. Moving on. The Kingdom of Tolossa. Don't. Okay, that is an old picture of, I think, Prince Charles. Don't worry about that. I couldn't find a picture for a king,
I'm
so
worrying about it.
I just used him.
Okay.
It was one of the first micronations to get like real media attention. It was formed by a 14-year-old called Rover Ben Madison of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Of course it's a 14-year-old.
Yep. It consisted of his bedroom in 1979. It kind of made the idea of micronations popular and gave media attention to ones that happened in the past and would in the future.
Okay.
The country claims a lot of spots on Earth, but the United Nations doesn't recognize it because, of
Of
course,
course.
I think the name actually means within, like it means something referring to his bedroom, and it's funny, but I don't remember what it is. Until 2007, it was just a dictator. It was a monarchy. And in 2007, it became a unitary parliamentary republic under a constitutional monarchy.
Wow.
It's a lot of fancy words for kind of like a dictatorship.
Yeah. A lot of
It's good.
nonsense words. So
It's
you know this little nation over here. This is the description of it. It's like 8 paragraphs. It's a dictatorship. Why didn't you just lead with that?
it's just go with that, man. It's just like, oh no, 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 no. We are a unitary parliamentary republic under a constitutional monarchy. No, you're a dictatorship.
It's the literal definition of a dictatorship.
I forgot to put this in the slides, but they actually have their own alphabet. Forgot to put it in the slides, but it has its own alphabet, and it kind of looks like a mix of German, English, and Czech. I think. I'll put it in later. I'll put it in later so you can see it. It would probably sound something like something like that. We're getting okay.
Gibberish.
This one is probably the weirdest one.
Why does that man look like that?
Well, we'll get to it. The Washitaw Nation is an African American group that claims to be a sovereign state of Native Americans.
Okay, this I can get behind.
Yeah, so they believe, that because of the history between the United States, natives, and African Americans,
Yeah.
they are considered to be a sovereign citizen movement, which is, you've heard of sovereign citizens, right?
Oh yeah.
Dumb people who think laws don't apply. They're not even anarchists, right? They're not people trying to overthrow the government and create a stateless thing. They're just dumb.
It's stupid.
Um, it's considered by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which kind of talks about different groups and talks about how if a terrorist group is this, or it considers this one a nationalist group, so probably not great. It's one
Uh,
of those black. I think
Probably not.
it's kind of like a black
W-
separatist group
We
that
know what happened in the last time a nationalist group popped up.
Erica playing in the background. It
You can hear the German anthem
yeah.
playing.
I think I think it's considered a black separatist group, which is people that they're kind of like white nationalists. They think that black people and white people should be separate.
Okay.
Yeah. All U.S. courts have considered this thing completely fictional and have disregarded it out of hand.
I wonder why.
I wonder why.
I can only ponder as to why that would be.
All right.
It's not like they're just like, hey, because of our history, bye bye.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay. Native Americans' claim to wanting independence is pretty solid.
Yeah.
From a legal standpoint, given all the
It's not
treaties.
like we break 500 treaties we've made with them every day. It's fine.
Yeah, that could be an episode actually. All the treaties that the U.S.
Yeah.
broke with Native Americans.
Yeah.
It
It's
would,
pretty stupid on how many there are, and you'd be very surprised on how many there actually are.
yeah,
And I
it's.
would actually love to talk about that.
I would too, actually.
Because, no, like me doing the episode, because I don't know
Oh,
if anyone knows this.
I don't know. I don't think I do.
I have native in me. So
Yeah, definitely. If you want to start writing
I
that
would
episode,
love to talk about that.
I'd gladly sit here and listen to you teach me.
All right, I'll teach you the
Okay.
ways.
Well, back to topic. We have one more country on
Anyway,
our list. It is the Republic of Zaqistan.
what is that statue?
We
It looks like a ramp person.
I'll talk about those in a second. It's a micronation in Box Elder County of the state of Utah. It is
Okay,
created by a man named
a
Zach
bunch of
Lance.
pastors.
Yes. It was named a bunch of Mormons.
Yeah.
Love Mormons.
More,
Uh, Zach, I'm joking.
we're
Z-
joking. Don't come
Zach
after us. No, please.
Zach
No.
Landsberg. Zach is ZAQ, where Zaqistan comes from. He pays property taxes for it, but he doesn't have anything built there except for the things you see on screen, and then there's one more thing. The victory arch is to celebrate a undisclosed victory that he has achieved. That border gate is, his how you get into the country, and that thing is,
Yeah.
and the ramp in the corner is just a statue to something. Tall,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
something.
They'll give you, dude will give you citizenship if you just ask, and for like a $50 fee, you can get a passport for the country.
Hmm.
Now, you know how like property right now is stupid expensive, right?
Yeah.
This dude bought 2 acres of land for $610 in 2005.
Wow. It's not a
Uh,
lot.
no, it is not.
Compared to now, it's not a lot, I should
I
say.
mean, yeah, geez, you get a decent looking.
Regardless, anything above $100 is a lot of money.
That's true. Well, that's all I got on the micronations, but
You know what time it is.
I'm just
It's
gonna
random conspiracy theory time. You're gonna love this one.
tell me when to flip it.
All right, I think you can see the next slide without flipping it. Now, I want
Okay, I'm good. Go ahead.
we'll get back right with you after these few messages.
Oh God, I don't have sponsors. Okay,
I know, but hold on.
I'm perfectly fine.
You're totally fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you know when we can start. Okay. All right. I all right, we're back. I think you guys know what this conspiracy theory is because it's a very popular one. The flat
Can I,
Earth
teacher? Can I?
conspiracy
Okay, I was gonna try to guess, but yeah.
theory. It's the flat Earth conspiracy theory.
Uh,
We're about to. This is. I want to say something real fast. We do not agree
Oh,
nor
yeah, let me give it the disclaimer quick.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
the
you do the disclaimer.
the hosts of the Moronic History podcast do not endorse or believe any of the conspiracies featured on the Random Conspiracy segment of this podcast unless otherwise stated. Assume that we do not believe in the conspiracies. There.
There. Okay.
Cool.
Anyway, so flat Earth theory first emerged in the 19th century in England, despite the Earth's spherical nature having been known since at least the time of the Pythagoras.
I think like
That's not how
I
you say that.
I
I'm not
think
even gonna learn.
I think the ancient Greeks figured out that the Earth was spherical
Ground.
in ancient Greek times.
Spherical. Yeah. It was in recent years been promoted by American software consultant Mark Sargent through the use of YouTube videos.
Okay, boomer.
So hear me out. You listen, YouTube videos. This man got his argument off of YouTube.
Okay. Okay. I
Not a
think
very good argument.
I think everybody knows like
Yeah.
what flat Earth is. Can we talk about how it does not work in any way?
Hold on. Wait, I can't. Can I finish? Can
Oh,
I
of course,
finish?
of course.
Because this is like getting into how it started.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah. So flat earther conspiracy theorists hold that planet Earth is not a sphere and that evidence has been faked or suppressed to hide the fact that it is instead a disk or a single infinite plane.
Infinite?
The conspiracy often implicates NASA. Sorry, Jesus Christ, I can't read.
The NSA and NASA,
Other,
yeah, my
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
organization.
very. Other claims include that GPS devices are rigged to make aircraft pilots wrongly believe they are flying around the globe. And that's it.
Oh God.
That's what
Okay,
my source says.
let's talk about this.
Now
So,
let's talk about why it does not work, and if you believe in it, you're wrong and you're terrible.
so most people who believe in the flat Earth also believe in fake moon landings, right?
Yeah, because it kind of ties in with the whole fact that it's fake
Yeah.
and it's flat.
But if you believe in us going to space and the moon, you can't believe in flat Earth because there are pictures of Earth from space
Yet there are.
where you can see it. The picture on the left there, you can see
Well,
it's spherical.
yeah, but also here's the thing. This is what flat earthers picture it, right? They don't picture it as like some 3D object. They picture it as a circle on a piece of paper. That's how they see it. So if you take a piece of paper, draw a circle, that's what they think the earth looks like.
But like, the
But here but
everything would be
here I
distorted.
can explain the science behind how it would actually work,
Sure,
but I know it's physically impossible.
sure,
So let's just say for a minute that we agree and the earth is flat, right?
sure.
A
We'll
flat disk. The
theoretically.
first the first the first backlash behind it is, well, how does the water stay on? Well, Antarctica, they believe that Antarctica wraps around kind of like a glacier blockage for all the water to stay there.
But we can sail from Pacific.
I know. That's why I said let's
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
take
I'm
it for a
sorry.
second.
I'm sorry. I'm using too much reason.
Let's
I'm sorry.
believe.
Yeah,
Go dumb, go stupid,
I go monkey mode.
go monkey mode.
Yes, I
So,
am a
but
flat
now
earther.
the next thing is, well, how do we stay on Earth? Well, some flat earthers actually believe, and it kind of makes sense, but we know it's impossible because science. So when you drop an object, right, it falls, right? Flat earthers believe that's not the Earth pulling it down. That's actually the Earth moving up relative to the ball.
So they believe like the Earth
So
is
they believe the Earth is going up, and that's what's keeping us down. Because you know how you go like super fast down or up a roller coaster, and you know how you go back or forward?
Mhm.
That's what they kind of believe.
Oh, so
That
they
force that pushing us up is keeping us down.
so you would like drop the ball. The ball isn't moving. The Earth is just
The
coming
ball
up to
isn't
meet it.
moving. The Earth is going up to the ball. That makes sense. I can kind of see how that would work, but we know it's impossible because science.
Science. Because okay, another thing that I've heard is like, okay, well if gravity existed on a spherical Earth, wouldn't all the water sink to the lowest level? What they don't realize is that gravity doesn't pull you down. It pulls you towards the center of the Earth.
Yeah, which depending on where you are, that's your down.
Yes. No matter where you
So
are on Earth,
there
it is
is no
down.
down. It's just relative to where you are,
Yes. We always make jokes like Australia is upside down because gravity's
but
weird.
it's really not.
But it's not because
But it's not.
it is upside down
Relative to
for
them,
us.
we are upside down. For
Yes.
them, we are the ones upside down.
But both of us are standing upright
Exactly.
from our perspective. It's
Now I want to get into something else.
sure.
Well, another thing is when scientists argue with them, well, how does the sun exist then? Well, actually, if the sun was about the size of, let's say, I don't know, Texas, maybe a little smaller than that. I'm not too sure how big the sun would have to be, but around there, and it would have to be about 1,000 feet above us
But
for the sun to be the sun.
1,000 feet, that's not even a mile. You can go up that high enough. Airplanes fly at 30,000 feet.
That's regardless. Remember, go
Yes,
stupid.
I'm. Oh my god.
Go
Monkey mode.
dumb. Go
Monkey mode.
monkey mode. All right. Well, then how does the moon exist? Well, the moon then would be about the size of your average house. Maybe no, not even your average.
At a
No,
thousand.
yeah, your average house
At 1,000 feet.
at at like maybe like 200. You can fact check me on it later. I don't know the exact math in my head,
200
but
feet.
somewhere like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we not be monkey mode for a minute?
Yeah, we cannot be monkey mode
That's
now.
cloud
But we
level.
know that's physically impossible because science.
Yeah, because that's cloud level.
Exactly. That's the literal level of the clouds.
Also, you would have so many cancers if the sun was only 1,000 feet. And also,
Well, that's the thing. They also believe that radiation doesn't exist.
oh, they think it's fake.
They think that's fake also. So that way the sun doesn't emit any radiation, so that's why they don't get cancer.
All light is radiation. All light is radiation. It's just different.
They're stupid.
Okay,
Sevron, they're monkey.
so
You gotta remember, they're dumb.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do they think of the other planets?
Um, they think it's literally just Earth, Sun, and Moon. That is it.
So what are the other planets?
Exactly.
They
They
don't.
think they just don't exist.
They think they don't exist.
They just simply think that they're no more.
But we can see that we've landed rovers on Mars. What's their excuse then? It's a green
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Okay. I want to get into one more thing before we can then be smart.
Of course.
But this is also a smart thing. Well, the thing is, it is spherical, and I want to show you why. You know the horizon, right?
Yes, I've seen it.
Because our eyes don't have a limit to how far we can see because we can look up and see stars. Like we can look up, there they are, right?
Yeah, we can see for
There's
infinity.
obviously a limit, but it's a pretty far limit.
Like
Like
we
it's
can't.
real
You
far.
can make out detail, but your eyes can see,
But you can physically see that the light bouncing off from the stars is hitting your eyeballs.
and those are billions of light years away.
Oh yeah, and really, really far
Okay.
away.
So what you're saying is that you're saying that the horizon is the only thing limiting our vision, but what's the
Yeah,
flat
the
earthers'
horizon is
excuse?
the only. Well, no. Here's the thing. I'm proving this wrong because
Oh, they think
flat
we have render
earthers,
distance.
they think we don't have far distance, but we do, because if we did have a flat earth, we would be able to see Mount Everest from where we're standing right now.
You'd be able to see, I guess, precluding buildings and stuff. You'd be able to see like
Yeah,
Paris.
you would be able to see Europe, Paris. You'll see the Eiffel Tower. You would be able to see the Statue of Liberty for crying out loud.
Yeah, you can test the curvature of the Earth. So you stand on shore with a mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a boat. Well, actually, something with a flashlight and a mirror, and you have a boat going,
Uh-huh.
and eventually that boat will look like it's sinking, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
going over the horizon. So eventually,
Exactly.
that light will just stop reflecting off the mirror because you're no longer in view because the Earth curves and you go over the curve.
Yeah, and that's why things are spherical, because it's just the easiest shape for atoms to form, and
Yeah.
gravity essentially packs it together so much it just creates a sphere, and that's why things are spheres,
Well, gravity loves to
because
make spheres.
because it's the easiest shape to make,
Well, gravity
and
loves to
it's
make
the
spheres.
easiest to hold.
Yeah,
It's
it's
easiest to keep everything together.
gravity loves to make spheres because you're just pulling
You're
like
pulling things in from every single direction possible.
yeah, it makes sense that it would form
And
like that.
eventually, when you make enough directions, you get a sphere. Like, I bet if you on like a 3D object, right? Like a 3D piece of paper
Hmm.
somehow, and you kept drawing lines, you would be able to make a sphere out of those lines. You just kept going.
Yeah. Okay. So I've
Or like on a
heard.
piece of paper, if you keep drawing lines in like a spherical format, you will make a sphere. It's pretty easy. It's pretty hard to not make a sphere in space, because it's that's just the default.
Yeah.
So making a flat circle is impossible because gravity doesn't like that. Gravity says no. So if there is actual gravity and the Earth is flat, it would just condense into a ball anyway.
Well, another thing.
Because gravity can't push from just two sides, it pushes from all of them,
Yeah.
all 3D sides at the same time. It's not just two.
Another thing is that maps. Okay, the meridian map is the one that we use. So,
Yeah, to show on the podcast.
but it is distorted. A globe shows you
Very.
better how it works because when you this is another MatNet thing. You if you put a
Hmm.
balloon, if you take a balloon and you or an orange or something round, and you try to squish it down, it distorts. That's why like
Yeah.
Greenland and Russia are huge, but Africa looks very small. But Africa is huge. It's the second biggest continent in the world. But
Yeah.
sometimes it looks
It's
about the
it's
same
a
size as
big
Greenland.
continent. Because when you look on a normal flat map, like square,
Yeah.
y- at, Greenland looks bigger than Africa. But there's a website, I don't know the name of it, but you can take a country, drag it to the middle of the Earth, and see its actual size,
Yeah.
because that's where it's less distorted.
On a regular
And
meridian map,
you'll be pretty surprised on how big things are.
yeah, on a regular meridian map, the closer you get to the equator, the smaller things get, and the farther you get, the bigger they get. So
The
that's why,
more pulled,
yeah,
the more stretched.
that's why
Like take
Antarctica looks huge, which it is, but it's not that big.
Yeah, in comparison to Russia, it's really not that big.
Yeah, it's
About the same size.
okay. So I've heard. Okay, I know that theory of the flat Earth, but you
So
said
do you
something
know
about
do
an
you know like
infinite
the
plane.
stretchy do you know like those stretchy, like plastic stretchy ropes things?
Yeah,
Like the slappers? It's like that. You know how like when like the, no like the hand slappers. You know when you grab the hand you pull it?
yeah,
That's the same thing on a meridian map. The farther out you go, the more stretched that hand gets, and the more non-hand like it looks.
yeah. Okay, so you said something about an infinite plane, right?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
theory?
if
Is that the
did
theory that we are
something
one of
yeah.
many? Like there is a infinite or like semi-infinite ice sheet that there are just circles cut out of that have Earths, and we're just
Well,
one
there
of
are
them.
we can keep going about this because it goes deeper. It's not just like our continents and then the ice sheet, right?
It's
They
other
think
worlds.
outside of the ice sheet, it's a whole other world,
Okay.
which it would be very cool if it
Oh, that
was
would be
like that,
that.
but
I would
sadly
love to
it's
live in that
not.
world. I would love to live in
Oh
that world.
yeah,
But here's the thing.
but sadly it's not. It's just impossible because we are a finite circle.
Yeah, but here's the issue. Here's the issue I have. One, you could just
Mhm.
go over the ice wall.
Mhm.
Two, we are melting the polar ice caps. Could we melt the wall?
It they believe in global warming, so I'm assuming that wall would be melted. And I
Ooh.
guess I assume that would be like their doomsday and
Oh,
everyone
that's
would
like
die kind
Ragnarok.
of thing. Yeah, it'd be like Ragnarok.
Okay, not gonna lie, that's kind of like wicked sounding, but
Yeah.
again, we don't believe in this one because it's just okay.
No.
Here's the thing:
It's fun to talk about and to disprove, but wait, I don't believe it.
it's goofy. This one is less harmful than other ones we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there. The people
There.
the people who believe it, everyone's just like, okay, they're kind of stupid and goofy. Moving on with our
Yeah.
day. Wow, that was a good rant.
Yeah, I mean, I got to talk about some science things and I love talking about science.
And I love
So
talking about
yeah,
flags. So good
it's a
podcast.
win-win. Yeah.
That's all I
So if
got.
you're a flat, so what we learned today is that
Yep.
there are many micronations, and some of which are stupid. And if you're a flat earther, you're wrong.
You are wrong and you are stupid, but we love you. As
But we
long as you
love you
stop being
because you're still human.
as long as you stop being a flat earther. Just it
Yep. Yep.
doesn't take that much
Your
research.
dad will come back the second you stop. I swear.
You'll get a girlfriend, everything will be good.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Share, subscribe.